what's going on? This is Michael Milano with M&M Bay Area at Compass. Today I'm going to go talk to the owner and CEO of Aaero Heating here in Novato. So I'm looking forward to that conversation and bringing that information to you. Today I'm with Dave Milano with Aaero Heating. Dave's my dad.
Yeah.
Aaero Heating was started by his dad, my grandfather, Dave Milano. And
I swore I'd never do this for a living.
and he made sure I didn't.
Yeah, I did. I'm a liberal arts major trapped in a technical field.
And excelling in it. You guys are open still.
I adapted.
Aaero Heating, talk about how that name came to be. Like, where did it come from?
That came with by being first in the phone book when we used to operate with phone books at that time. So AA, Aaero Heating. One of our past employees who left to start his own company left and named his company AAA.
AAA.
That's right. AAA Energy Systems is what they operate under now, and
They're
still around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The phone book did them well.
Yeah, and the Aaero man came from a sign painter who painted our first service van. And again, that was I think it was a 1964 Ford van. I can still remember it. It was a real pale green. And it had little flames on the side, and he painted the Aaero man, which was our Tin Man or robot, as some kids like. And I love that little guy. He's my boss. Man, it's cool.
And that was built.
That was built here and shot by Grant Garl built that.
Okay. My uncle Grant.
Yeah. It really is. The Aaero man is part of our community.
Yeah, totally.
That's why I stick with this.
Yeah.
It's a community serving service company.
So if you haven't met the Aaero man, you got to meet the Aaero man.
If you get a chance, if I can get there, I will.
Yeah. And this spot, for people that don't know where this spot is.
This is 860 Sweetser Avenue, just down the street or up the street from Novato Builders.
So Aaero Heating, they're my go-to HVAC company, heating and air conditioning primarily.
Ventilating, air filtration. Custom hood fabrication is now going to be added to our repertoire, along with countertops.
Keeping up with the times.
Yeah.
So obviously HVAC is super important for every home. You guys service the whole county?
We do. All of them are in. And southern Sonoma, up into Healdsburg. We'll go further north if you have old friend status. As far Napa is our limit, and again, it's limited amount of penetration we have up there. That's well handled already by several established shops.
Okay. So, what are some things that people should look out for when they're considering a furnace, a new furnace, some air conditioning that maybe they don't expect?
I always say beware the upsell. It's become very trendy lately to say that your duct systems are obsolete, and I don't know what that is. And I've only been at this for some 40 years, but when I hear that somebody told me my duct system was obsolete, the air doesn't wear out metal. It can be insulated with asbestos, and again, this is another common fear and tactic that's used to sell people duct systems and things they really don't need. Asbestos, I understand that, again, the worry and danger of it. I'm not a naysayer on it. There's proof positive, but it's not the boogeyman that everybody thinks it is, because it's on the outside of the duct system, not the inside. There is no contact or way for this product to be broadcast through your system. To have it removed is an expensive process. To buy a new duct system is expensive. Also, the new duct material, which is either mylar or even aluminum flex, is suspect to rat infestation, which they've been rampant in 3 counties, rats. everybody knows they've got somebody with a rat problem. They love duct systems. They chew through it and turn it into a habit trail, and they live out their entire life cycle inside your ductwork. And there's no way you can clean that. No way, other than to cut it out and replace it. So
That's gross.
it is gross.
How often do you see that?
It's a lot.
Really?
A couple of times a month, people will call up and say, I have rats. Are they in your ductwork? Yes. And then again, it gets to a pest control problem. First, the protocol is the rat's got to be gone, and then you go in and do the cleanup. And the cleanup is remove the duct system and put a new one in. There's no way on God's green earth you can possibly clean it all out. Delivery.
So the upsells, one of the things to be aware of. What are some surprises that may occur for somebody that is going to put a furnace in, or upgrade to something that's more modern, more efficient than what they have?
I would say there's a couple of things. First of all, it's the price. It's a surprisingly expensive proposition to put in a new HVAC system. They aren't cheap. But again, if you were to look at your house and the systems that are in there, i.e. the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC is one of the biggest systems you have in your house, if not the biggest. To change out a furnace only, adapt to the existing ductwork, you can be anywhere between $3,500 to $6,500, depending on if it goes right back into where it's supposed to be. And it has to, the cost delta or change doesn't have to, it doesn't involve quality. The warranties are identical through the lines. It's usually 10 years all parts from all the major manufacturers. Aaero's warranty is 2 years all parts, all labor for everything. But what you buy, the difference between the $3,500 and the $6,500 unit, is you buy efficiency, and that's cost of operation. And again, one of the key questions that should be asked of you, or you should be asking, is, what I always say is, how long are you going to be in the house for? If you're going to be there longer than 5 years, the high efficiency equipment is the cheapest stuff to own. It will pay you back. The difference between the two, you will save in energy. And if anybody has an idea of, how much do I save? The old furnace that you have there right now, a new unit will save you between 1/3 and 1/2 of your energy.
Wow.
And then we have air conditioning. Air conditioning has ballooned in popularity simply because of the fires that we've had and the climate change. It's real, it's here.
Well, in the pandemic too, right?
And the pandemic hasn't been good either. People have been home.
A lot of people that were used to going to their works where there's air conditioning are now working from home where there isn't. And gosh, there was a part this year where you couldn't even buy air conditioning, right?
Well, COVID hit the factories as well, and so and the transportation net was affected too. So if they had equipment, they couldn't ship it. And then again, the factories closed for several days and had to reopen, and they couldn't catch up because the demand was so great. People were home. It was hot this summer. And then we had the smoke.
Right.
So that air filtration became a big thing, and people were calling us and wondering, can I turn my furnace on? It's blowing smoke around inside my house. No, it's not. A furnace typically will filter the air in a house anywhere between 3 and 6 times an hour. So every hour that air is passing through the filter, and it's constantly scrubbing it. So again, my advice is always you have that fan switch on and run that furnace, run the air continuously, keep it going.
Because it really cleans your air that you're breathing.
It does. And people will say, well, that's going to affect my energy bill. Now, a fan is incredibly efficient once they get started. They cost about as much to run as a 70-watt bulb. So it'd be like you had a lamp on all the time.
Okay.
Same cost.
Right. And how often should someone change out their filter?
Depends again on what is going on. With the fires, I was saying that you should probably change them out every 45 to 60 days. With the larger filter banks that we put in all of our installations, they're 4.5 inches thick. They're rated for an hour or 9 months. And I stick with that. My own, the cobbler's son goes barefoot. When I looked at mine, it was about the color of that, and that was because it went on for 60 days, but there was a lot of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, depends on the environment that it's operating.
Sure, but that seems to be one of those easily overlooked components to the.
It's
the
important.
system.
Clean air to an HVAC system is like clean oil to your car. So keep an eye on it. And keep my guys away from you, because it isn't cheap.
So you guys have been servicing the area for 60 years.
Yep.
You're a union-owned or a union.
We're
shop.
We're a union
Not
shop.
owned.
We're a union shop. Well, it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah. So what are the differences between a union shop and a non-union shop?
Training. It comes down to trained cadre, trained workforce. That is the main difference. It's the training that the union provides, and that they adhere to, and the union practices which are, it's excellent, is what it is. And if it's anything less than that, that's when we do something about it. We're still here. It's not a tail light warranty.
Right.
It's my system in your house. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it in there and you don't say anything, I can't help you. If we have something in there and you need help, call me and I can do something.